Japan is described as a country that values teamwork and puts a group first. Sounds great, but here's the weird part. In Japanese football, when everything's on the line, why does no one step up to be the hero? And in Japan's companies, everything looks perfectly coordinated, yet everyone protects their own tiny slice. So which one is it? Are Japanese people really good at cooperation? Or are we just confusing something else with teamwork? Alright, let's strip it down to the root. Are Japanese people highly cooperative? If you look at the surface behavior, the answer is yes, absolutely. In football, in companies, and in daily life, Japanese society moves like an ant colony. Highly members of people, incredibly smooth coordination, almost no visible chaos. But here's the catch. This is not cooperation in the usual sense. Not people sitting down, debating ideas, trusting each other, and building something together. It's more like driving on the road. Drivers don't talk, don't trust each other emotionally. They just keep the correct distance, follow the same signals, and don't make sudden moves. That's why it looks cooperative, because what Japanese really cooperate with is rules and expectations, not trust, not emotion, not personal bonds. Long story short, everyone does their own parts. Nobody hates trouble, nobody steps out their lane. That's also why you never see a group of Japanese people openly debating, even when the issue is crucial. So why does this system work so well? Because Japanese cooperation is not sharing goals. It's about removing uncertainty. You're not expected to help others succeed. You're expected to not cause trouble. Do your job, finish your task. That's the real logic behind the system. It's clean, it's efficient, and it's emotionally distant. This mindset doesn't from philosophy, it came from survival. Historically, Japan had a limited land, dense populations, narrow roads, and almost no buffer zones. Earthquakes, fires, tsunamis, disasters wasn't rare, it's routine. And in that environment, one person acting unpredictably could wipe out an entire village. When roads are narrow, building collapse, and information is scarce. When someone shouting, rushing ahead, or playing heroes doesn't save lives. They block exits, delay rescue, and create second disasters. Over time, people learn a brutal lesson. You can't control disasters, but you can control human behaviors. So survival means one thing: make everyone predictable, follow procedures. Don't cut in line, don't interrupt, don't object others immediately. That's where Japanese discipline comes from. Not morality, but risk management. At its core, Japanese cooperation follows one rule: everyone obeys the system. Even within East Asia, this pattern is not universal. In larger civilizations, chaos in one place didn't mean total collapse elsewhere. Disasters didn't erase entire societies, so it didn't reshape personality the same way. And in some other societies, hierarchy and expression become dominant tools. What looks like obedience from the outside, but it's not the same as system-wide coordination. But Japan went in a different way. Actually, Japanese personality is not naturally cooperative. It's highly self-aware, highly bonded, and extremely sensitive to emotional intrusion. They don't enjoy being tied to others. They don't like being dragged into shared responsibilities. If possible, many will prefer mind their own lives completely. And today you can already see that happening. Less marriage, less socializing, less interest in promotion or public affairs. At the end of the day, Japan doesn't run on thinking together. It survives on don't mess things up. Japanese style cooperation means don't steal the spotlight, don't introduce variables, don't create frictions, don't stall the system. This is passive coordination, not active teamwork. The activism looks less like an army marching with one wheel, but more like a perfectly synchronized traffic system. Smooth, precise, and emotionally distant. Alright, that's it for today. If you also like digging to the root, hit follow. Next time we'll ask a harder question. Do Japanese people really have no personality as they look like, or is it just hidden?